Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome to a brand new series on the channel, Kansei the Second Turn. My name's Raven from the Sky. And
A tangram isn't that hard. You're just not thinking about it right.
oh, we got voice acting. Oh yeah? So how exactly am I supposed to think about it?
You need to be more flexible. You should be open to the idea that what looks like one thing might just be a small part of something completely different. The outside shape doesn't always give you a good idea of what's inside.
You mean like how many tiny little sister? Like how my tiny little sister is such a huge genius?
Just like that.
Who on earth invented this thing anyway? It's such a weird puzzle.
Well, I think that according to legend, the tangram happened when someone dropped a square tile and it broke into 7 pieces. When he tried to put them back together, he discovered that he could shape it into many different things.
So basically, we're having fun at the expense of some poor guy who broke his tile?
Well, if it weren't for that, wouldn't the tile just be a boring tile like all the other tiles? But because of what happened, it's now a famous puzzle that's been seen across the world. Sometimes, in order to find a greater purpose, you have to be broken first.
I suppose. Broken, huh? I think I'm happy at just being a boring old tile that no one will ever notice.
I don't think we get the luxury of choosing what happens to us.
Yeah. You don't think we get to decide our future?
I never said that. We don't get to decide what happens to us, but we can always decide how to respond to it.
That is true. Like, we can't pick the hand we're dealt in life, but we can play our cards right. You know, you sure think about a lot of deep stuff for a 14-year-old. I thought girls your age were supposed to be into cute guys on nail polish.
That's a stereotype, and you know it.
What? I'm not allowed to tease you? Besides, I'm sure you'll start thinking about a boy one day, and when that day comes, you better make sure he gets my approval first. I don't want to lose my sister to some punk kid who's no good.
Stop joking. I told you, I'm not interested in that sort of thing. Don't worry, you're not going to lose me anytime soon.
Oh. Oh, where am I? I open my eyes slowly, take in my surroundings. Coffee table, books, computer. Looks like a pretty average apartment. Something feels off though. Like what?
Good morning.
Oh, right. It's not an apartment, it's a prison. All thanks to me sticking my nose into a murder yesterday.
I hope you slept well.
Why do you care? Aki sits beside me on the couch.
You're our guest after all.
Except for the part where I don't want to be here.
Well, there's not much I can do about that. You have to admit it's a lot nicer than police custody, though.
I don't see why Detective Gurski thought it was necessary to detain me anyway. I already solved the murder yesterday. The murderer even confessed.
Confessions can be recanted. It's best to have the most solid case possible in situations like this.
What about Naoki? He was there. Why not use him?
I'm sure they'll use my brother too, but the fact remains that you're the one who solved the case. That makes you the strongest witness they have.
Whatever. There's plenty of painfully obvious evidence at the scene already. You hardly need me.
You'd be surprised what expensive lawyers are capable of doing. We need the most airtight case possible.
Oh, ain't that the truth.
Miko might seem like a relaxed guy, but he's thorough.
Miko might. Oh, she's already said that. Miko, you mean Detective Gurski?
Yeah, Mikolaj Gurski.
You seem awfully familiar with him.
You think so?
Her expression breaks into a wide grin. I can only assume there's a story here that she's not telling me.
Anyway, you should thank me for convincing him to let you stay with us. With us, you get a nice bed, good food, and...
And?
Aki, I got the coffee.
Naoki opens the door to the apartment, triumphantly holding up a cup of coffee.
Coffee.
Naoki stumbles as he enters, gasping at the air in the attempt to catch himself. A young girl with pale skin and white hair appears from the hallway and reaches out, calmly lifting the coffee cup from his outstretched hand as he falls forward. She steps to the side as Naoki goes crashing to the ground. Move that cursor out the way. The girl gazes placidly at Naoki lying on the floor.
Be careful.
Oh.
Ooh, nice save.
The young girl nods and hands a cup of coffee to me before disappearing back into the hallway.
That's Li Mei.
Uh-huh. I saw her yesterday, but she just kind of nodded at me and walked off. Naoki stands and rubs his head ruefully.
That's Li Mei for you.
She's a quiet child. Quiet child. Quiet?
Quild. Huh.
Anyway, there's too much going on in her head, so it's a little hard on her to maintain conversations.
What? She's like a genius kid or something? Naoki and Aki exchange glances. What did I say?
Not exactly. It's a little more complicated than that.
Why don't we talk about it on the way there?
There? Where are we going?
To speak with our client, of course.
Doesn't take long for us to leave Edgewater. I gaze sleepily out of the car window and struggle to sit up straight in my seat. It's still early morning and the city is only faintly outlined against the pale sky. I take a few sips of my coffee before dozing off completely. What? The cityscape outside the car has transformed into a country scene. I vaguely remember passing the big city, but I'm pretty sure I fell asleep after that. Typical. I gaze at the rolling countryside as it passes by. All I see are clusters of trees with telephone poles dotting the side of the road. Aki's driving is surprisingly sedated. Considering her personality, I expect a lot more road rage. She seems content to chug along slightly below the speed limit, even though the road is perfectly straight and no other cars are in sight. I feel like we're creeping along at an incredibly slow pace. I guess this is why we had to leave early. At least I get to sit in the front, glancing in the back seat. I see Naoki dozing, his head resting on his chest. Li Mei is awake, but she's staring blankly out the window.
Glad you're awake. Did you enjoy your sleep?
No, not particularly. The seat feels lumpy, and now my neck hurts. Aki laughs and shakes her head.
At least you're honest. Should we have gotten you something stronger than a triple shot?
No, it's not your fault. I'll kick in soon enough. It'll kick in soon enough. I look out the window again, trying to focus on the scenery. It looks like we're far away from the city by now. Any reason we had to leave so early?
We have a long way to go to meet with our client, and he's the sort of guy who will get very fussy if we're late.
Where are we going anyway? What are we supposed to be doing? Who's the client you're talking about? Wait, you said you were going to tell me about Li Mei, didn't you?
You're overflowing with questions. I suppose I can't blame you. You're not the only one with questions, though. In fact, you're a pretty big question mark yourself. Let's make a deal, shall we? You ask a question, then I ask a question. We'll trade answers.
I guess that works. Who are you people anyway? Where are we going? Where are we going?
A small estate out in the countryside. It belongs to one Mr. William Auten.
Auten? As in Auten Engineering?
Got it in one.
So he's the guy who hired you to track Sarah Blackmore because she was stealing information from him.
Yep. Well, until she was murdered, that is.
Yeah, there is that.
We reported to him yesterday about what happened.
You mean about how Miss Bergstrom hired Sarah to steal from him?
That and the fact that Miss Bergstrom claimed a third party was also interested in the information. He didn't sound too happy about that, so he ordered us to come see him today and give a full report in person.
Wow, that's a little demanding.
I can't blame him. His entire company's at stake here. I hope you don't mind coming with us. Since you were there yesterday, it seems only natural to bring you along.
Yeah, I get it. I'm sure the real reason she's taking me along is because she promised Detective Gurski that she'd keep an eye on me. But I guess I don't mind talking to this Auten guy. It's not like I had any plans for the day anyway, and it might be interesting to see the house of a millionaire. Why does Mr. Auten live so far out of the way anyway? Considering that his company is in the middle of Edgewater, wouldn't it make more sense not to live a gazillion miles from the place?
Who knows? Word is that he really hates the city. His assistant said that he rarely leaves his house, conducting most meetings via satellite.
Weird. His entire company is built on cutting-edge technology, but he doesn't want to live around a couple stoplights?
Rich people are eccentric. Comes with a job description, I think.
Sounds more like paranoia to me.
Maybe it is. Okay, my turn. What's your name?
I was hoping you wouldn't ask that.
You do realize how suspicious it makes you look when you hide it, right?
It's complicated.
Things are only as complicated as you want them to be, but I respect your privacy.
The girl who can insert thoughts into my head whenever she wants respects my privacy. Ironic.
We're going to have to call you something, though. Is Kangai okay?
Kangai. Kangai?
Roughly translated, it means strong emotions. It's sort of a play on Kansei.
Is that supposed to mean something to me?
We call the ability to feel other people's emotions Kansei. It's like a super sensitivity.
Kansei.
Since you have a type of Kansei, we can call you Kangai. Kan-gai. Get it?
Yeah, but it's stupid.
I never claimed to be good at picking names.
Try to think of something else, please.
I'll see what I can do.
I lean back in my seat and adjust myself attempting to get comfortable. Is there any reason your car is so tiny?
Is that your next question?
No, I'm just saying there's not much space here.
Li Mei never complained about it.
Yeah, well, Li Mei is tiny. Oh yeah, what's the deal with her anyway?
Now that's definitely a new question.
Right. Who are you people anyway? You work for high-profile corporations like Auten Engineering. The police seem to trust you almost unconditionally, but you just look like a bunch of kids.
You're a kid too, aren't you?
Yeah, well...
We're a special investigation agency. Our work isn't always as exciting as corporate espionage and murder. More often than not, we're just snapping photos of cheating lovers. As for why the police trust us, that's sort of a weird story. That's for another question, though. Alright, next question. Where are you from, anyway?
Los Angeles?
I'd rather you don't lie about it.
What?
Miko told me about it. Yesterday, you told him that you were from LA, but when he asked you about precincts, you didn't correct him. In Los Angeles, police work districts, not precincts. I'm surprised he didn't cuff you on the spot for lying to him. Actually, no, I'm not.
I turned my gaze back to the scenery outside, unsure of how to answer. Detective Gurski knew I was lying yesterday. Why did he let me get away with it? Did he recognize me? I don't remember him, though. I've been living in Los Angeles for the past 3 years. Isn't that good enough?
And before that?
Only one question at a time, remember?
Of course. Go ahead.
So what's the deal with Li Mei, anyway? Earlier you said there was a lot going on in her head.
All of us have a sort of Kansei like you do. We can all sense thoughts and feelings to some extent.
And?
Li Mei's Kansei is probably the purest form of them all. She experiences the emotions of everyone around her.
Everyone?
Everyone. If you're happy, she's happy. If you're sad, she's sad. Everyone else's emotions are constantly streaming into her mind. She has to spend a lot of her energy sorting out which feelings are hers and which aren't.
I turn to look at Li Mei. Her eyes are open and her body is unmoving as she stares straight out the car window. Her mind must be a mess. I wonder if she can feel my pity for her. Can she even tell that it's me, or is it all mixed up inside of her? Oh man, should I even be feeling this way? If she can sense it, it's probably really demeaning to her that I'm feeling bad for her. I don't want her to think that of her I don't want her to think that I think of her as a poor little kid or something. I desperately try to conjure up another emotion to squelch my current mood, but my mind is completely blank. For a brief moment, Li Mei glances at me from the corner of her eye. She nods slowly, almost imperceptibly, but I think she's trying to tell me she's okay.
My turn now.
Aki grins.
Where did you live before Los Angeles?
Somehow I knew you were going to ask that.
Oh, am I really that predictable? Not going to answer.
Edgewater.
What?
I used to live here in Edgewater.
Here.
Aki sounds surprised.
3 years. I suppose that makes sense. We've only been here for 2 years.
She glances at me out the corner of her eye. I'm sure she wants to ask more, but for once she doesn't press the issue.
Well, I guess that was my question. Your turn.
What should I ask? What did you have to do to get the police to trust you?
We stopped the assassination of a visiting dignitary.
You what?
Everyone makes a big deal about it, but it was sort of a fluke. Naoki was trailing a businessman and secretary who were putting in extra hours at an expensive hotel.
And?
He saw the assassin, thought it was suspicious, and called me in. We intercepted the assassin, saved the day, and apparently that makes us trustworthy heroes.
Seriously?
Seriously.
You'll forgive me if I find that hard to believe. A story like that is ridiculous.
So, you're the boy with a Kansei that allows you to experience the final moments of any dead body you touch. You should be used to the ridiculous by now.
I guess she has a point there. Still doesn't sound like a real story, though.
You missed it.
been silent for so long I almost forgot she was there. Li Mei is pointing at a small side road that we just passed.
Oops!
Aki gives the steering wheel a tight spin and the car's tires screech as the car spins in the road.
What? Ow!
Naoki jerks awake as his head bumps against the window he was using for a headrest.
Sorry, missed a turn.
He rubs his head slowly.
Yeah, I noticed. I guess we're almost there.
Yep, just a few minutes now. Anyway, what were we talking about? Right, Mr. Auten. He's one of those self-made men you hear about all the time, built Auten Engineering himself from the ground up. But he's also ridiculously secretive. No interviews, hardly any TV appearances. His assistant, Sophia Millerson, does most of that.
The car slows to a stop as we approach Mr. Auten's house. I squint out the window to get a better look at it. It looks like a very expensive, very pretty box. A box. Very expensive, very pretty box, huh? Kind of small for a rich guy, though. Maybe he's a simple guy. This is it?
This is it.
But it looks like someone just glued some fancy doors and windows into a huge box. That's an interesting way of looking at a house. So just glued parts together.
Yeah, it kind of does. I guess since he always stays inside, he doesn't care what it looks like on the outside.
Aki kicks open the car door and leaps out. The front doors of the house swing open silently and a strict-looking woman approaches us.
Are you the representatives from the agency?
Yep, I'm Aki Mizutani. You must be Sophia Millerson. We spoke on the phone.
Aki thrusts her hand out, but the woman merely raises a skeptical eyebrow.
You're not exactly what I pictured.
Looking at Aki's wrinkled shirt and dusty pants, I can see why she might be a little thrown off.
Being a private investigator involves having an appearance that doesn't stand out, ma'am.
Truly.
The woman places her hands on her hips and sighs reluctantly.
Well, come in. Mr. Auten seems unusually eager to speak with you.
Aki kicks the car door shut and motions for us to follow her. I climb out and stumble for a moment as my knees buckle underneath my weight. My legs are cramped from sitting in that car for so long. Sophia watches me impassively. She doesn't look impressed. Naoki comes stumbling out of the car after me, and we both do our best not to look like a pair of goldfish who've been dumped unceremoniously out of our bowl.
Are these your associates?
If she was unimpressed before, she's plain worried now. I can't say I blame her.
They are.
Aki steps to the side, and Naoki and Li Mei approach Sophia.
This is Li Mei, and this is my brother Naoki.
Li Mei glides up to Sophia like a swan and offers her a polite bow.
And he is?
Sophia points at me. Aki stares at me and a hint of panic shows in her eyes. I've already made it clear that I don't intend to give my name anyway, but I guess that puts her in a somewhat difficult situation. Of course.
That would
It'd be
Kangai.
Kangai. What? Kangai? She's really going to stick with that weird name?
Kangai? Unusual.
I turn to Aki and make a face, but Sophia either doesn't want to notice or care. Either doesn't want to notice or care. Aki shrugs apologetically.
Sorry, it's the best I could do on short notice. You should have given me something to work with.
I'm suddenly regretting not telling her my name was Fred or something. I guess it's better than nothing. As we follow Sophia into the house, I see a brief flash of red light. What's that light?
It's a retina detector.
Sophia indicates a small camera set in the door frame that we pass through.
The house takes a shot of the eyes of anyone who passes through. It's useful for identification purposes. There are other senses around the house that also capture your retina image. The house can remember your preferences and adjust things like lighting and temperature as soon as you enter the room.
Wow. Whoa, that's more than a little bit creepy. But I thought Mr. Auten lived out here because he didn't like technology.
Mr. Auten lives here because he enjoys the peace and quiet being away from the city affords him. This house, however, has the most cutting-edge security possible, including quite a few innovations not yet available on the market.
Fun. I'm sure the house is already looking at my dental records.
Now, please don't dawdle. Mr. Auten's other guest is already here waiting for you.
Other guests?
As we enter the house, I see the outline of a man standing at the far end of the room inspecting a scroll on the wall.
Oh no.
Oh, great. I should have known you'd be here.
Miko, to what do we owe the pleasure?
Aki doesn't bother to disguise the sarcasm in her voice.
Detective Gurski played a major role in the apprehension of the murderer yesterday. It's only natural that he'd be invited back here by Mr. Auten.
Yeah, I was actually there, unlike some people.
Detective Gurski looks pointedly at Aki, but she doesn't gaze coolly back at him. But she just gazes coolly back at him. Reading a bit too fast. Sophia ignores the chill in the air between them and nods at us curtly.
Please make yourselves comfortable. Mr. Auten is finishing up on a conference call. He'll see you once it's finished.
Ooh, can we explore the house?
If you wish. The house currently logs you all as guests, so any doors you are authorized to pass through will open automatically.
Aki takes her brother's hand and gives it a quick tug.
Let's go!
Okay.
Naoki trails after her, looking unsure. At the far end of the room, Detective Gurski rolls his eyes. Sophia turns and heads up a narrow staircase, presumably to do something important. The room is silent now. I swallow, trying hard not to make a sound. Detective Gurski turns to inspect the fountain in the middle of the room with fainted interest. Unfortunately, he looks more annoyed than interested. Li Mei stands silently in the corner of the room, staring off at nothing in particular. There's something about her that bothers me, but I can't figure out what it is. Her still body and distant gaze remind me of the corpses I've seen, but even the dead body doesn't give me the uneasy feeling she does. Aki said that she feels the emotions of everyone, but it looks to me as if she doesn't feel any emotions at all. Before I can think on it more, the front door slides open to reveal a young woman with slightly unkempt hair standing on the other side.
Oh! I'm so sorry I'm late. I got lost on the way here. Do you know how easy it is to miss that turn to get here?
What? The woman looks at me expectantly. I wonder if Sophia knows there's a visitor. Should I go upstairs and tell her?
You must be William Auten. I've heard so much about you.
Ha! She thinks we're the guy. Liam? I thought Aki said that Mr. Auten's name was William. She smiles and holds her hand out. I give it a quick shake before stepping aside to let her in. Yeah, I'm not.
It's okay. I'm not here to talk about all those rumors. Rich people always get the worst of it, don't they?
Yep. She walks around the perimeter of the room, examining everything quickly with her eyes.
And even if they are true, you're free to do what you want with your life. No one should judge you for your choices, right?
Right.
Oh, right. Marissa Klein from Modern
The
Trend.
good choices.
I'm here for the
you know.
interview.
Obviously, if you take another life, you're going to be. They should judge you accordingly. do some crap you ain't got no business doing.
Did your uncle not tell you about it?
She flits around the room again, stopping to inspect the bamboo that stands like a guard by the hallway.
Pretty! Is it real?
I honestly have no idea.
Oh, hello.
She rushes up to him and holds out her hand.
Marissa Klein.
Yes, I heard.
Marissa nibbles on the edge of her fingernail coyly.
Oh, good. So we can skip the formalities and just chat?
Is she flirting with him? I'm not sure I want to watch this.
I'm afraid I'm only here for business, ma'am.
She gives him a gentle push.
Oh, don't call me that. It makes me feel so old. Or are you supposed to be all formal with me because you work here?
I don't work here.
Marissa's eyes grow wide.
A guest? Even more interesting.
She points to the fountain that Gurski is looking at.
Are you an art fan?
She reaches out to touch the dragon coiled around a glass sphere.
Please refrain from touching the art.
Marissa freezes as Sophia appears at the bottom of the staircase.
Miss Klein, I presume?
Yep. Sorry,
You're 2 hours late. Mr. Auten has other business to attend to now.
Hang on! I called and said I'd be late, though.
I don't recall receiving such a call.
Marissa turns to me and grabs me by the shoulders.
You didn't tell her?
Tell her what?
You're the one who answered the phone when I called. Why didn't you tell her?
I just got here. I have no idea what you're talking about. Why is it that everything is somehow my fault? Marissa blinks and releases her grip on me.
Wait, what's your name?
Kangai. I choke a little as I spit the name out. Sounds even dumber than when Aki says it.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I thought you were William Auten.
Yes, I gathered as much.
Miss Klein, you may have called ahead, but the fact remains that you are very late, and Mr. Auten has a strict schedule.
Wait, this is my first major interview. Is there any way I can squeeze it in today?
Must be a reporter. Interview.
Come with me.
Oh, thank you.
Marissa skitters up the staircase after Sophia. Detective Gurski is eyeing me with a quizzical look on his face.
Kangai?
Yeah, what of it?
Did Aki pick that name for you?
Is it that obvious?
She's notoriously bad at naming things. When she was a girl, she had a cat that was born with only a stub for a tail. She named the cat Stubtail.
Great. I guess I should be grateful I didn't get saddled with a name like Kid, who talks to dead people.
I'm sorry you're stuck with those kids right now. If I had my way, I wouldn't group you in with them.
What are you talking about?
They all belong to the government. You know that, right?
Wait, what?
Miko, are you gossiping about me again?
I'd rather you don't feed our friend Kangai here any misinformation.
Well, I haven't lied to him, if that's what you mean.
Mr. Auten will see you now.
Sophia descends the staircase with Marissa Klein in tow. Sophia looks even more annoyed than usual. Marissa's smiling, but it looks forced. Did you get your interview?
Of course. It'll be a winner, so be sure to look out for it.
She points her pen at me and jerks it back like a gun.
Bang!
Somehow I doubt her article will win very much.
Hey, Sophie, you don't mind if I have a look around, interview the staff, and other nonsense, right?
Seems to be taking all of Miss Millerson's strength not to strangle Marissa.
Please make it quick.
Righto.
Marissa salutes and heads off down the hallway.
Shall we get going?
Of course. Sophia waits patiently for us to follow her. The five of us file up the stairs and follow her down the hallway to a glass door.
Mr. Auten, the investigators you requested are here.
Good.
Camera descends from the ceiling and pans slowly across us before coming to a stop in front of me. The lens adjusts and focuses on me. Suddenly another burst of static.
No, go away.
What?
Get out. Get him out.
Everyone turns around and stare at me.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything. Stop blaming me for everything bad that happens. Mr. Auten's voice crackles over the speaker again.
Sophia, get rid of him.
I'll take care of it right away, sir.
Sophia turns towards me.
Please follow me this way, Kangai.
But I didn't do anything.
Please follow me this way, Kangai.
Sophia repeats her request, but her voice sounds much more tense. Fine, I'm coming. I follow Sophia down the winding staircase.
I apologize for Mr. Auten's sudden outburst. He's prone to unnatural mood swings based on unidentified provocation.
She sounds more like she's giving a press release than an apology.
We can proceed with your discussion after he is less agitated.
You're not kicking me out.
Mr. Auten called for you. Once he settles down, he'll want to speak with you again. Until then, please make yourself at home while I go to work out the details of this visit with your associates.
She turns and heads back up the staircase without waiting for a response from me. I collapse on the stone bench with a sigh. I really can't catch a break, can I? Poor fella.
Are you okay?
Aki has followed me down the stairs. She looks concerned. No worries, I'm fine after all. Crazy old men yell at me all the time. She smiles, and I think I hear a small giggle escape her lips. At least she's amused.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's hardly your fault. No need to apologize.
Just sympathizing with you.
Right. That part of your Kansei. Or are you just trying to be nice?
What do you think?
It's no good. Mr. Auten's refusing to come out.
Naoki and Li Mei join us in front hallway.
Detective Gurski is still up there trying to talk to him, but he won't listen to reason.
Any idea what's going on up there?
No, I can't think of anything I've read that's like this.
I don't know what you did, but you've got Mr. Auten bunkered up in there pretty good.
I didn't do anything. You saw me.
Yeah, I saw. It doesn't make any sense, though. He seemed pretty insistent about talking with us today. Li Mei, what do you think?
Aki turns to the young girl. Li Mei closes her eyes. It almost looks like she's ready to drift off to sleep.
He's scared.
Yeah, we figured that much out already. Anything else? What about when he first reacted?
She inhales and lets out a tiny breath.
He was not surprised.
Not surprised? That's strange. Does that mean he expected to see me? But if that were the case, my thoughts are interrupted by a new voice.
Whoa. Hey, I didn't know we were having guests today.
Was it his son? A young man, probably in his teens or early 20s, is staring at us from the hallway. His gaze passes over Li Mei, Aki, and Naoki before resting on me.
Way to go.
He gives me a thumbs up. What?
I don't know how you managed to get 3 at once. That's a pretty sweet haul of chicks, man.
Who, them?
But I'm a guy.
Aki holds back a snicker.
Well, crap.
He shrugs and regains his composure quickly.
Well, I've seen worse.
What's that supposed to mean?
Let's see. A bunch of people hanging out in the lobby for no reason? That's an easy one. Uncle called you out here, and now he's having a hissy fit and making you wait. Am I right?
Got it in one. And you must be William Auten.
This guy's Liam Auten. I guess I can see why Marissa mistook me for him. We look like we could pass for brothers. I feel a little insulted that she'd equate me with this guy, though. Everything about him screams slacker. He doesn't look like he's had a hard day in his life.
I'm Liam, alright? But who are you? You definitely don't look like business partners. Uncle's not the kind of guy who lets just anyone enter. He's all crazy paranoid that way.
If he's as paranoid as you say, why are you here?
Aki knows Liam's question and counters with her own. Liam shrugs.
I'm family. It's not like he's got a choice.
Despite his casual air, I detect a hint of smugness around him. He probably enjoys feeling like he's above us. I've known this guy for about 10 seconds, and he already ticks me off. Naoki looks like he agrees with me, but it's clear he's trying to hide his feelings. Aki, on the other hand, doesn't seem bothered at all.
Ah, so you're visiting your uncle today?
No, I live here.
Really? That's even cooler. Must be kind of boring for you, though.
Huh?
I was looking around earlier and nearly all the doors are locked.
That's because you're a visitor. You don't get many access privileges. I'm allowed in, like, every room in the house.
Like? So, not all of them.
Aki's eyebrows shoot up. She definitely looks interested.
Yeah, well...
Liam looks to the side and mumbles.
There's like a lock on his office in the security room. Those rooms are pointless anyway.
Oh, well, if that's all.
Aki shrugs casually and Liam relaxes his shoulders. I glance at Naoki. He's staring at some invisible point on the ground, trying his best not to be in this conversation. Aki leans towards Liam and tilts her head as if to whisper in his ear.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Her voice is suddenly quiet, conspiratorial almost.
Yeah, I guess so.
Aki watches Liam's expression carefully as it changes from uncertainty to curiosity.
I don't suppose I could ask you for a favor.
What?
He's caught off guard by the request.
Well, seeing as your uncle seems to be hanging us both out to dry, maybe we could at least spend the time doing something interesting.
Like...
I don't know. Maybe you could show me around. We could poke around your uncle's precious privacy while he's busy being difficult.
I guess I've got nothing better to do with my time. Sure, why not?
Coils his arm around Aki's waist and guides her towards the hallway.
Aki.
Split up and explore what you can. Something about this doesn't settle well with me at all, and we might not get another chance.
Ugh. I really wish she wouldn't do that. I'm still surprised every time she uses her brain voice. Or Kansei or whatever. Is she always like that?
Yeah, Aki has a way with people. She's persuasive.
No offense, but that was a rather tiny veiled bit of a manipulation there. Why did he fall for
She
it?
uses her Kansei to push someone's thoughts in the direction she wants.
So mind control.
Nothing that powerful. Just subtle suggestions, like a whisper in the back of your mind.
I hope she doesn't intend to use that one on me.
She can't.
Huh? What do you mean?
Those with Kansei are more sensitive. You'd know it's her voice.
To us, it sounds like she's speaking directly, but normal people only feel like they've just had a random impulse.
Naoki gazes at the floor and kicks aside some imaginary dust with the side of his foot. What?
Nothing. We should probably get going. I'd rather not split up if we don't have to. I don't do well exploring new places.
You're not even leaving the house. How bad could it be?
Well, I got stuck in an elevator once because I couldn't figure out how to get it to go to another floor.
It's true.
Li Mei nods her head in confirmation. I don't even want to think about how he managed to accomplish that. Then let's all go together.
Is it really okay?
Sure, why not? As long as we learn something, I'm sure Aki won't care. Sticking together. Choose to explore together.
Is that okay with you, Li Mei?
It's fine.
The three of us walk down the hall together. Naoki hangs behind Li Mei, and he seems uncertain. Thought we were all going together, or are you not coming?
I'm coming.
And now I'm going to stop it here for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching. My name is Raven from the Sky. If you enjoyed the episode, drop a like and subscribe to the channel and the series grow. Take care, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.